You find the access tunnel, hidden within a natural cave a mile off the main road. You don't need the keycard. The door is ajar. It smells here. It smells like them. Hopefully they've moved on. You come so far already. You can't turn back now. There is a slick trail that leads from the cave entrance and into the depths of the site. If it's blood or shit or something that smeared off one of those things, you cannot tell. You make a point to avoid it. You're still receiving the distress signal. It only started broadcasting yesterday. Whoever it is, you pray they're still alive. Your footsteps echo throughout the empty corridors. Each footfall sounds for all the world like a dozen, as if you're not treading through the dark alone. Elevator is down, so you take the stairs, ending on floor B5, Keter holding. You pass several empty containment chambers. The horrors they once held are long gone. If you're lucky. The trail takes you to an office branching off the main hall, the source of the signal. The door is cracked open, but stuck. You plant your feet and push with all your might. Something skitters out of one of the rooms to your left and around the corner before you can get a good look at it. Your first thought is, dog. It was on the ceiling, though. You take refuge in the room, slam the door behind you. It's dark here. You're safe. You take off your jacket and head wrap. It'd be a damn shame to die from something like hypothermia after all that's happened. The sole operating emergency light rotates in its casing, casting a pale orange glow across the room every other second, as if the room itself had a pulse. There's shelving haphazardly placed behind the door. A barricade. You scan the room, soiled clothes, half-eaten food. Despite the presence of an adjoining restroom, there is excrement in a bucket in the corner. A pneumatic chamber on the northern wall would have been delivering consumables to the occupant. The trail terminates in the corner of the room, forming a sick puddle. You spot 3 pharmacy bottles. Further inspection reveals them to be various opioids. They're all empty. There's a desk with a computer atop it. Approaching the terminal, you can clearly see the blinking light of the power button. You take a seat. Turn it on. You hear footsteps just outside the door. Every step comes down heavy. The second drags behind it. A dark shape blots out the light streaming in through the slit between the floor and the doorway. You tense up, waiting with bated breath, praying it will pass. You damn the deafening thumping of your heart for betraying your position. The shadow recedes. You breathe a sigh of relief just as the screen comes to life.
Item number SCP-001. Object class Apollyon. Special containment procedures. Due to its nature, SCP-001 cannot be contained. Survivors of the SCP-001 event, stationed within secure facilities, are to remain in contact with one another. Personnel are encouraged to attempt to reach Site-19 by any means at their disposal. Personnel with the knowledge as to the whereabouts of the O5 Council are to relay this information to the administrator. Survivors attempting to travel outdoors must fully cover their bodies in protective clothing, preferably several layers. Travel by foot should be limited as much as possible. Cities and man-made structures in general provide the greatest protection. Formerly wooded areas should be circumvented. Travel by air is preferable above all other methods. Personnel exposed to SCP-001 are to be considered lost. Compromised personnel are to be abandoned. Euthanization is not to be attempted. Collective instances of SCP-001-A that are of formidable size are to be avoided at all costs. Conductive electrical weapons have been proven partially effective at immobilizing instances and may be used for self-defense. Incendiary weapons work as well. Cryonic mutations are the most effective thus far. Testing has revealed that SCP-001-A is relatively safe to consume. This is only to be considered as a last resort in the absence of all other options. As SCP-001-A may reconstitute within the digestive system, only small portions should be consumed at the time to prevent a blockage. Personnel stationed at Site-19 are to pursue research concerning off-world colonization. Shuttles must be constructed as to not allow light to penetrate the interior. To those of you with families, or God forbid, children, I'm deeply, deeply sorry. You must push on. Do not let their deaths be in vain. We do still have time. Humanity may still have a future. Come to Site-19. We need all the hands we can get. Learn to embrace the darkness, friends. Fear the light. Sincerely, the Administrator. SCP-001 is the designation given to the Sun after an event resulting in 6.8 billion casualties within the first 24 hours. The SCP-001 effect does not seem to result from exposure to ultraviolet rays, but rather light within the visual spectrum. The effect is similarly present in moonlight. Upon contact with visible light produced by the sun, living organisms liquefy at the point of contact, with the effect spreading until the entire organism is converted. Visually, this is reminiscent of melting wax. The time this takes is largely dependent on the level of exposure and size of the organism. Despite this reconstructing, at no point do living organisms perish. Upon completion, these organisms take on a gelatinous consistency. Modal organisms will attempt to orientate themselves in a fashion reminiscent of their previous form, to varying degrees of success. Flora typically remain physically inert, yet are still capable of photosynthesis, and still produce oxygen. Organisms capable of flight lose the capability to do so. Fauna remain sentient, and display behavior that parallels their non-anomalous counterparts when not absorbed into a collective instance. Humans retain a modicum of sapience and memory. Biological anomalies exposed to SCP-001 are affected in the same manner. It seems that exposure nullifies any previously expressed anomalous characteristics. Due to their composition, instances of SCP-001-A that make contact with one another may combine and blend at the molecular level. This does not seem to cause any pain or distress to the instances, though the resulting bulk can inhibit movement. Since the SCP-001 event, most instances have congregated into such collectives, which seem to process no maximum volume. The resulting biomass is amorphous and chaotic. The component organisms will shift between a full to semi-liquid state. Limbs and bodies will rise periodically from within the mass for a short duration, before deteriorating and becoming subsumed by another life form. Collective instances will locomote by using their appendages in tandem to carry their mass. Larger instances will form a pseudopod from their constituent life forms and drag themselves about in a manner similar to amoeba.
Hey guys, what's up? Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This SomberReads collab has been a long time coming. Like, I've been wanting to have him on since I found out about him, actually. I've always loved his stuff. I think he's an amazing narrator. Please go down in the description and subscribe to him and support him because he is really, really talented. SCP-001 When Day Breaks is one of my favorites. As will all the SCP videos that I will ever do and have done already are my favorites. There's really no other reason to do it if they don't intrigue me. When Day Breaks is a difficult one because when it comes to SCP-001, there are multiple proposals because there's no set SCP-001. It's all proposals. And there's a lot to When Day Breaks. There was a lot to cover. And I kind of just did like the baseline so you guys can get an idea. If you guys want a full, in-depth coverage on this, I would recommend the Exploring series. He has full coverage on all of the really good proposals, including When Day Breaks. I didn't cover like all of the, like there's a poem part to it. There's a lot of other dialogue, but I wanted to really stick to the SCP format videos that I've been doing a narration of a set thing and then having someone do an article. And there's only one set article in the entirety of When Day Breaks, and that's the one that Somber did, which I think he did a great job, and I really, really like the effects that I put on these things. Like you're sitting in like a facility and you're actually listening to someone on a tape, like going over that thing. I always like doing these videos. I always think they're really cool. So I thought that I would do this one. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. My Patreon, my merch, and my email, and Phlegethon's music, all in the description, as always. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. See you later.